All right, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're gonna be talking about ski deals. It's been a little while since I made this kind of video. Honestly, it's just one of those things where I try not to inundate you guys with this stuff, like if the prices don't change too much. But I feel like now is finally a pretty good margin of like, hey, prices have dropped again. And if you're in the market to buy skis, I do feel like you are getting down to the wire to find good deals. So I've just combed through evo.com, found all of the best prices, and I put together a list of good values of skis that you can go out and buy right now. They are the 2025 version, where they haven't changed in 2026. It's the same ski, just a different top sheet. And essentially, if you can find your size and find the ski you're looking for, you can save a ton of money just knowing the difference that like, hey, this is just a top sheet change. As always, if you are in the process of shopping for these deals, please consider using the affiliate links. That's how we're able to make all of these videos on the channel. A small percentage goes back to our channel without costing you anything extra. So if you are shopping, please don't forget to do that. That will be down in the description. Now the first deal, and I've been consistently talking about the ski, you can get the 2025 Atomic Maverick 95 Ti for $449.97. rather than the original $750. Now you're saving $300 on a ski that is a very good ski. I've skied this. This is actually Zach's daily driver. It's one of my favorite skis out there. Not only is it cheaper than the 2026 model, I actually like the 2025 Mavericks better than the 2026s, at least in the widths that I've tested. Now, I have tested the Maverick 88, not the Maverick 96 CTI. So take that with a grain of salt, but from what I saw from Atomic Maverick 88 Ti to Maverick 88 CTI, I prefer the older 2025 version with just the Ti. And so if you are looking to get on that ski, which is probably one of my favorite all-mountain skis that has ever been made at a significant discount, and it's about to change into a more accessible, freestyle-y or free-ride-y type of ski, you can get on a better version of the ski for less money. Anyway, I think that's kind of why I'm picking this one first, because it's such a good ski. The train is leaving the station for the changes, and you can get it for a severe discount on evo.com for $449.97. They have 164, 172, 188. I know that there are Black Friday sales sometimes, but this ski has good sizes right now, and if they have your size, I don't know that I would necessarily wait. That's just my 2 cents. Don't forget too, if you have Evo points or whatever, if you've made past purchases, you can use those towards purchases. There's some weird stipulations and sometimes the rule changes, but anyway, that's my first value pick, and I think for a lot of people looking for a daily driver, it would be a phenomenal option. I mean, the Maverick skis so well, I've talked about it 100 times, it carves well, it's really accurate, but on top of that, you've got the Horizon tech allowing you to have a little bit more range when it comes to powder, and I think if you're looking for a ski that's all mountain, that's going to be a good daily driver, that's gonna give you access to most of the mountain most of the time, this would be probably one of my top picks, and is discounted. And as always too, I'm not paid by Atomic. In fact, Atomic is probably one of the hardest companies I've ever had to deal with. I cannot get anyone that will help connect me with skis. They promised to send me a pair of Redsters last year, then they just never did. I am in no way affiliated with Atomic, this is just my honest opinion, but I do have these skis in the 88mm width that I paid for with my own money, and still, absolutely love them. I have the 2023 version and I'm still using it. After that, you've got the Atomic Bent 110. You can get that instead of $749. You can get it for $562.46 in a 164, 172, 180, 188. I have a pair of the 2024 version where the only difference is the Horizon tech is splayed a little bit differently, but the rest of the ski construction is the same. I like that ski a lot as a powder ski. It's really maneuverable because it's a little bit more center mounted. You have a little bit of an easier time kind of getting through the brush and bramble. The flotation is really nice. The Horizon tech gives it just a ton of capability when it comes to powder skiing. And on top of all of that, it handles well. It's a forgiving, light ski that you can kind of hop around easily. The turns feel smooth. I tend to prefer it mounted 1 centimeter back from the factory recommended, but all in all, I think it's a great ski, a great value, and actually this year's top sheet, I think looks great. So if you're in the market, I think that's a great option. As far as bang for your buck budget skis, this is probably the cheapest one I saw on the bench. You can get the 2025 Atomic Bent 90 in a 166, 175, or 184 for $329.97. That is not only a sub $400 ski, That is a low 300 ski. Now, these are not damp skis, they're not big crud cutters like a M7 Mantra or a Nordic Enforcer, but my God, it's light, maneuverable, and it can massage out a smooth carve turn when you have soft snow. On bad conditions, yeah, it's gonna struggle more, but bang for your buck, you can carve on them, you can take them off trail, you still get Horizon Tech. If you go into Bent 85, that's where like they really start to scrape all the features off. But for a decent daily driver, especially if you're more focused on the off-trail performance, $329.97 for a Bent 90 is a phenomenal value. If you care about carving, I would probably pony up the extra money for the Atomic Maverick 95 Ti. I think the Bent 90's carving capabilities are just a little bit more limited. Its range for tolerating bad snow conditions is a little bit fairer than something that like the Atomic Maverick 95 Ti that can power through more of that. So like if it's your only ski or you're pretty experienced and want a good carving ski, I'd probably make that step up to the Maverick. But if you're early into carving, or, you know, or you're looking for a good off-trail ski daily driver, dollar for dollar, $329.97 is a phenomenal price for the Bent 90. So check that out. That's cheaper than some people spend on like look pivots. Okay, after that, you've got the 2025 Salomon QST 106 for in a 189, 165, 157 for $469.99. I like that ski a lot. It has that kind of swoopy feeling of a snowboard, just the way it kind of comes through the turn, the way that you kind of sit into the back of the turn and let the skis come around is a phenomenal feeling. You know, I did lower my score down to like an 8.5 afterwards because their top sheet stuff, it does start to fray. I had some issues with that. And the tips have this weird tendency, 1 out of 100 turns, to kind of, you know, meander towards each other. It's very weird. And it wasn't just me, Zach also felt it. So, you know, the tips do like to cross sometimes. It has some small drawbacks, but the feeling of the turn is very distinct. The performance in the powder is absolutely there. And out of the QST line for that generation, the QST 106 is probably a standout in my opinion. It's like QST 106 and QST 92 are kind of the big standouts as far as like QST 92 for different reasons, but the QST 106 for powder performance, I really, really loved. And it's got the cork dampener, so it doesn't get pinged around as much as some of the other powder skis. A phenomenal price at $469 and a phenomenal ski. The color is really ugly, but other than that. And, you know, quality and how they break down over time, I don't know, it's all anecdotal, right? It's just one pair of skis, but you know, it's something to at least have in the back of your head when you're looking at it. While we're talking about QSTs, the Salomon QST 92 for 2025. In some of the smaller lengths, 152, 160, 168, but you can get those for $349.99, another sub $400 ski, which is really great. If I had to pick, I think the Bent 90 is probably a better value. There aren't a lot of sizes here, but for a pretty comfortable daily driver off trail, if this is your size and what you're looking for, this is still a tremendous value. All right, up next, we've got the Salomon QST 98 for 2025 in 169, 176, 183, 189 for $419.97. It's been a long time since I reviewed the QST 98, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I don't remember like a lot of details, but I remember my broad feelings, and there's an archaic review you could watch, but I'm not very proud of it. It just, I don't know. It's a very early review. I'm proud of it, but it has not like held up as well. So I'm hoping, you know, to review more. And the QST 100's out, so this has changed going into next year, but they were very nice skis. I think what Salomon does a really nice job of with their QST line is taking an off-trail ski, making it feel good off-trail while still making the skis somewhat damp. They've got that cork dampener, which allows it to feel like it's got good range. Like you could get into some bad conditions and the ski doesn't just become a noodle and then all of that energy transfers up to your feet. You know, there's drawbacks. It's not a perfect ski, but I think that one combination of these two things, Salomon, to their credit, does really well. So yeah, I mean, I haven't skied the QST 100, so I don't even know how to compare it. I can just talk about this QST 98. You know, Salomon is weird. I don't know, like that's a whole nother conversation. But as far as the skis go, these are nice skis, and you can save yourself quite a lot of money getting a pair for $419.97. It's kind of interesting that so many of the QST 92 sizes are gone. Meanwhile, there's a ton of QST 98s. Why that is, I do not know, but it's interesting, I guess. Up next, okay, I'm gonna talk about the ski. I didn't like this ski, but for the price, I didn't hate the ski. I was just disappointed because it felt like it was trying to do too much all at once. So, full disclosure, I prefer the wider width, but this is the Blizzard Anomaly 88. You can get it for $339.99 in a 188 centimeter length. I didn't like it, but that's a good price. It's not a bad ski. It's just like, it very much seems like a ski that was designed by a boardroom full of people. Like, okay, we'll take some of the stuff that people like about the Salomon Mantra or Blaze tips and incorporate that, but then also incorporate the thing that everybody really likes about the Rustler. And then it's just like the tails kind of get in the way. But that being said, it has a ton of range. It still carves decently well. You know, I took it somewhere and I saw a lot of people demoing it, and I think for like a demo ski, it makes a lot of sense. I just feel like it's trying too hard to be too many different skis rather than having a core identity of its own. But then again, like when you get it on the Anomaly 94, all of that stuff kind of comes together more coherently, like in a more cohesive way. But if you've tried the Anomaly 88 and you like it, or you were kind of interested, or the things I talked about in my review don't bother you, save yourself some money. I mean, right now, let's see, what's the new one? The new one is $750. These are $339. That's a great deal. Don't get something that's bad just because of the price, but if you already are looking at it, this could help someone out. I don't know. I'm conflicting against my own advice, but if you're already shopping for the Anomaly 88, I don't think it's gonna get much cheaper than $339. Up next, you got the Volkl M7 Mantra in a 163 or 170. Typically these are $850, although the new ones are like $930. Everything kind of crept up in 2026 for price. But rather than pay $930 or $849, you can pay $594.99. This is a phenomenal ski. It's my favorite spring skiing ski. It's my favorite like safe bet ski where you can put it in your car and know that if the conditions are bad or get bad throughout the day, it's a phenomenal, phenomenal ski. I've got a whole review on it. I've talked about it a ton, but it is probably one of the highest mileage skis I had last year. After that, we've got the Atomic Maverick 105 CTI in a 170, 178, and 185. I think for people who are looking for a ski like the Bent, but don't need it to be as maneuverable through the little kind of bushwhacking areas, or want it to be more stable at high speed and big lines, the Maverick 105 CTI is a very nice ski, but just make sure you're getting it for the right job. And $559 instead of what? $800 the new one costs? That is a lot cheaper. I'll put up, you can check out the full review, but again, if you're shopping for the Maverick 105 CTI, you're looking for a powder ski, and you're looking for something that does not make sacrifices in like the carving or power or just like how aggressive it is down the fall line. Like I love the Bent series, but if you're in a big, more open turn, like a big bald face or just like a really steep line, and you want something that's stable at higher speeds and something that's gonna track more down the fall line, and when you get onto the non-powder environment, you still want to have that same kind of carving performance, the Maverick 105 CTI is really nice. I just, you have to like pair skis appropriately so you don't have too much overlap. Like if you had a pair of Maverick 95 TIs already, getting a 105 CTI is a pretty safe bet, like if you're ordering it and you want to know you're going to like it. But the catch there is that you will have some overlap and not as much variety. Whereas, in my opinion, getting something like a Maverick 88 Ti for a daily driver, getting something like a Bent 110 or Bent 120 for designated powder, it gives you enough variety and enough range to enjoy both skis on different days, rather than having some days that are in between where you could kind of use one or the other either way. That's just my opinion. It depends on how many skis you're planning on having too, based on how tight the overlap needs to be. But if you're shopping for this ski specifically and you don't have a powder ski, save yourself some money. Like you don't need to pay $800. It's the same ski, different graphic. And $559 is a lot more digestible, I think, than the full $800. But anyway, let's go to the next ski. This is kind of a specialty size, but you can get the Black Crow's Atris from 2025 for $449.99 rather than $850. They only have the 190 centimeter length, so pretty big, but this is a great ski. I mean, it's really fun. You have to kind of take aggressive lines. It's pretty freestyle inspired with the twin tip, but for mid to even like decent powder days, I had a ton of fun with this. It felt like it drove me to be a better skier. You can watch the full review, but it's a very fun ski and a very good price. Oh, speaking of Black Crows, you can pick up the Justis as well. You can get the 2025 Justis in a 171 for $689.99. That is a screaming deal. I guess there's not a ton of sizes, but man, that was my favorite, like, travel ski, safe bet ski. It carves well. It did phenomenally in the powder when I was out in France. I mean, I just thought it was tremendous. I think if I had to have a ski where it's like, you're traveling and you don't know what conditions you're gonna have, that would be my go-to. The only area it struggles in is like, you know, really adverse conditions or really firm snow when you're kind of off trail. It can get pinged around a little bit. It's not the dampest ski. You know, the carving is really good though. Like that tip is very distinct and the way it hooks up. I liked it a lot. I really couldn't think of a better ski to have been on during my time in France. I took it in the powder, took it off trail, you know, in the safe off trail. I didn't go into like any couloirs or anything. And then I also had it on the groomed runs. It was so phenomenal. I really like that ski. I feel like it's kind of a hidden gem. I hate that term. A well-kept secret. I don't know. It's very underappreciated, if nothing else. You can also get the Salomon QST Blank. This was not my favorite ski, but still a good deep powder ski. It kind of just felt like it was a lot on my hips after a few hours of skiing on it. It's still a good ski. I mean, the platform's good. It was a ton of fun in the powder. I think if somebody's looking for the ski, they know what they're looking for. I think that the QST 106 has more of that distinct QST feeling, and the QST Blank just kind of doesn't have as much range or doesn't feel as distinct, but it's not a bad platform. And if you're looking for it already, you can get the 194 centimeter length for $479.97, about 480 bucks. And then last up for skis, again, I haven't skied this. This is a women's ski, but if you are shopping for a women's ski, you can get the Atomic Maven 86 from 2025 for $199. That is technically a sub $200 ski. Typically these are $450. Gosh, I'm tempted to like buy one of the larger ones just to test it, but I don't know. I'm not the right audience for that ski. But that is a phenomenal deal. I feel like women's skis specifically have been really cheap this fall. I think that with that kind of COVID bubble and then people not buying as many skis, but the manufacturers producing more, the biggest bubble I've seen has been for women's skis and kids skis. I think women who, or you know, in general, or people buying women's skis broadly, just did not buy up the inventory nearly as much as the men's category. I don't know how or why that seems to be, but if you're looking for like a way big bubble of skis that they just have not been able to move, women's and children's skis have been phenomenally priced. So if you're shopping for the lady in your life, or just, you know, you are buying women's skis, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Men or women can buy women's skis, but if you're buying a women's ski, you can get a phenomenal price for $199.99. I guess the ski did change going into 2026. It's now the CTI, but it doesn't mean that the previous generation was bad. I know people that have the ski and really like it, and you can get them for a screaming deal. All right, really quick, let's just run through some of the ski boot deals. There's not a ton of them, so it'll be pretty quick, but there are some decent deals if it fits you. With ski boots, it's nice to get a good deal, but always prioritize the fit. But if you are looking for an Atomic Hawx Prime 100 S, you can get that for $233.99 instead of $400. They also have that in the BOA for a little bit more. It looks like about 63 bucks more, or 66 bucks more. You can also pick up the Atomic Hawx Prime 110 BOA for $359.97 and the Hawx Prime 95 BOA in the women's for $299.97. A lot of BOA boots on sale. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna leave it alone. I gotta focus on deals. I don't have a problem with BOA. There's an audience for it. But this industry thought that we had like, what, 2 or 3 years ago that everybody is gonna be in BOA ski boots and this is the future. And there are definitely people where it fits better. There are definitely people like my son who has autism where like that will work better as a caretaker helping him get the boots on. But the assumption that the industry had that every single person, every single consumer, they were gonna need a BOA boot, proof's in the pudding. That's what's on sale here. Like 75% of the ski boots on sale right here are BOA. Anyway, okay, on to the next thing. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right, up next for Salomon ski boots, you guys can thank Zach, actually, because Zach is always looking for deals and then he never buys anything. So I'm constantly sending him deals that he never uses. So like half of the stuff I know about is because of Zach. All right, you've got the Salomon S Pro Supra BOA 120 for $404.97 instead of $750. You've got the Salomon S Pro HV 120, you know, without the BOA for $354.99 instead of $649. You've also got the Salomon S Pro Supra BOA 130 for $479.97 instead of $800. And the Salomon Shift Pro 130 AT Alpine Touring Ski Boot from 2024 for $309.99 instead of $800. If you're shopping for jackets, there's the jacket I reviewed, the Arcteryx Sabre SV jacket, normally $900. You can get it for $675 in black or red. And then they have the, like the step down in material, but same cut Arcteryx Sabre for $562.50 instead of $750. The Arcteryx Rush is $525. I like Arcteryx. I just think there was a couple of quality of life things that it lacked versus Mammut and Patagonia. But the material, to be fair, on that Sabre SV is probably the best material jacket that I tested last year in my ski jacket test. I just think like there's a couple things for that much money that they should have fixed, but if you're looking for a nice jacket, there's no denying the material is top notch and it is a well-made ski jacket. So if you're in the market for that, you know, save yourself, what is that, like $225? Here's the thing too, okay? I used to buy used gear. I used to do that. I would go to the ski swaps, I bought stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I still do sometimes, but it's not well priced. People who sell stuff used, they bought it full price and they're like trying to get that money back, not realizing how much cheaper stuff goes on sale in the off season or at the tail end of the off season now when people are trying to clear stuff out. So like I've found that used stuff can be more expensive than just buying last year's colors of the new product. I have completely stopped buying used stuff because it just isn't as good of a value as it used to be. It's overpriced. I've gotten some good deals where like I bought my first Mammut Haldragat on Sideline Swap and then they had like a coupon for the end of the season, so it combined to make it a pretty good value. But even then, I probably just could have watched the sales on the new stuff. I'm a big like fan of buying used gear. In fact, like Patagonia, they have like a used gear section that is phenomenal. I really like that kind of thing. But for whatever reason, like ski swaps, Facebook Marketplace, it's just not that good of a deal. Get stuff in the off season or look at deals like I'm pointing out to you. And in my opinion, it's a better value. You usually get like your warranty with it when it comes to skis. You get some customer service. You can return it if it doesn't fit. All of these like drawbacks from buying used aren't there anymore. And on top of that, sometimes it's even a better price. So anyway, I'm just trying to help you guys. Sorry I keep going on these rants. After that, you've got the Patagonia Storm Shift jacket. Typically these are $500. You can get it for $350 in the brown color, which I'm not gonna lie, is not the best color, but it's also not the worst color. There are some other colors on here that I don't like as much. But if you're just looking for a nice jacket, I think like quality of life features, bang for your buck. You're also gonna get like the Patagonia repair program where you can send it in. I think you pay shipping and then they will repair it, or if they can't repair it, they'll give you a credit. It is a very well-made jacket. It's not as waterproof as Arcteryx. It's not as high quality as Arcteryx, but it's giving you a warm jacket, a dry jacket, but it's giving you all of those quality of life features and a still solid, well-made jacket for a fraction of the price of Arcteryx. I think bang for your buck, this is an awesome option. Like if I'm climbing Kilimanjaro or I'm going up into the Alps and I have like really extreme weather, sure, like, you know, or you're a high mileage user, I think the Mammut jackets and Arcteryx jackets are better made. I think that the material is better, but bang for your buck, I think 95% of days, the Storm Shift is gonna be more than enough jacket and a tremendous value and a very thoughtful design. So if you're looking for a ski jacket, $349.30 for the Patagonia Storm Shift. If you're in the market, I think that's a good price. And they have extra small, small, XL, double XL. So anyway, that's the end of the deal video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope somebody is able to save themselves some money and get a good deal on their ski gear. Like I said, we do have Black Friday coming up, but I think that if you have a specific size, don't wait till the last minute and have all of the really popular sizes kind of come out from underneath your nose and then suddenly you now have to like go and buy the 2026 version at full price. I think now is a pretty good time to buy skis if you haven't already. Obviously, like the optimal time is end of summer because there's like that perfect blend of plenty of sizes and good prices. But I will say right now, the prices are probably the most aggressive because they really need to clear out inventory to make room for 2026. And you are getting a better price, but the only thing is that the sizes are getting more and more obscure every week as far as like common ski sizes that people are looking for versus what they have there. So if they have your size and they have the ski you're looking for already, you know, I don't know, take advantage of it. And on top of that, if you're going to be purchasing something, please consider using our affiliate links. That's how we're able to remain independent. And you know, it's a free way of helping the channel without spending any extra money. If you don't need stuff, don't buy it. I'm not out here telling you to buy stuff you don't need, but if you're already going to anyway, please go down to the description, use the affiliate links, and help support this channel and help make it so I can make more of these deal videos for you. On top of that, the other way that we're able to stay independent is we have our channel Patreon. Thank you so much to everybody who supports us on that Patreon. It really makes a big difference as far as like the gear we're able to get, the skis that we're able to test and demo and pay for that demo, and the skis that we will be able to like pay out of pocket to test even when the brands don't want to send it. I really appreciate those Patrons. If you want to become a Patron, please consider doing that if you're able to. You know, if you're struggling, trying to scrape by right now, don't use the Patreon. I'm not trying to like pull money from people who are just trying to get by. But if you find value in my content, you like how independent it is, please consider doing that. We also have company Ko-Fi and company Venmos for one-off donations if you want to support the channel. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. I really appreciate all of you guys commenting, liking, all of that stuff. It means a ton to me that you take time out of your day to spend it with me in this weird one-way mirror. And I don't know. I can't say thank you enough for the just overwhelming support I've received. It's really made a big difference in my life, and I wanted to give back in this way to help you guys save money on your skis. But anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.